Hello there, this is X-Star Killer X here and welcome back to another deck profile. So today I'm going to be showing you my new and improved Gimmick Puppet deck as of 2016. So to start off we have three Gimmick Puppet, we have three Gimmick Puppet Magna Dolls. So they basically special summon when you've got a Gimmick Puppet and they have no monsters on the field. We have two Shadow Feelers. These are basically, if you've got them in your graveyard, you can special summon it to save you from a direct attack, but you do take 1,000 life points in doing so. We have two Gear String Spirits. These are really good because if you've got one or more machine cards in your graveyard, you can special summon these, and you can reduce one of your opponent's monsters' attack to 0 once per turn, so that's pretty nice. Then we have the most important card in my opinion, 3 Gimmick Puppet Druid Dolls. Now this one can be special summoned once per turn by banishing one of a Gimmick Puppet from the graveyard, and you can special summon it in defense or attack. So that's really useful for getting out those XD summons. Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. This is an interesting one. Say if you've got a XD monster which you don't really need anymore, to be honest. The only reason you got on field, say, to use its effect. So what you can do is you have this one of these in your hand, you can special summon it by getting rid of the XD's monster, and then special summon another one which will allow you to XD another monster, for example. So that's what they're mainly used for, and banish material, of course. Then we have two Gimmick Puppet Twilight Jokers. These things are basically, if a weaker Gimmick Puppet gets destroyed in the field, you can special summon it down, especially if they've only got one monster, then that will potentially lead to another good XD summon as well. And then we have two Gimmick Puppet Gear Changers. Again, these select another Gimmick Puppet on the field, and this card's level becomes the same as the other one, so really useful for getting out those summons. Gimmick Puppet Destroy. This is again a very good card for this deck. So essentially it has two effects. One which you can destroy one Gimmick Puppet monster on the field. And the second effect is when this card's destroyed on the field, it can special summon two Gimmick Puppets from your hand. So essentially what you can do, special summon this, use the first effect on itself to destroy itself, and use the second effect, say, to pull out a Gear Changer and a Nightmare, for example. So that's really nice. Now last two monsters we have are Gimmick Puppet Scissor Arms. Now these are basically used to send your Dreary Dolls to the graveyard, for example, so you can then get them onto the field. And also good for level 4 XD summon if you manage to get one of them off. So now on to the magic cards. So to start off we have one Micro Magic Numeral Force. These Micro Magic cards are mainly just to get out your bigger Gimmick Puppet. So once you get strings on the field, you can use this to get dark strings on the field, for example. Then you have Jug Puppet, which is basically essentially like a monster reborn for this deck. So if you've got an XD monster in your graveyard which could really be good right now, and as long as it's a good puppet, you can use this, and you can be able to special summon it from the graveyard, which is really insane and overpowered. Then we have free tradings for those sticky situations where you haven't got very much in your hand. You can discard none of any Gimmick Puppet, and you can draw a further 2 cards. Now these are really useful cards to have. It's Stoic Challenge. These are really good for pulling off those OTKs. So essentially, if you've got, say, 1, 2, maybe even 3 XDs on the field at once, if you could, this to one of them, you can only control one at a time. The equipped monster gains 600 attack for each XD's material on the field, not just the one which is attached to the monster that you use this on. It's to any monster that you control on the field. So you've got 10 XD materials on the field. The monster gets 6,000 attack, and then if you attack any of these monsters, say 2,000 attack, it will take 4,000 damage, and then you double the damage using this. This is other part of this card's effect, making basically 8,000 damage OTK. So, well, you know, it's reasonably hard to pull off, but you can. Foolish Burial. This is send again Druid Doll to the graveyard. We have 2 Red Cup Magic Argent Chaos Forces. Again, just to get those more powerful Gimmick Puppets to the field. And also these ones are good as you can add them back to your hand as well. You can add this card from your hand to the graveyard when a card is special summoned, like rank 5 or higher. And then we have, to finish off, 2 Mystical Space Typhoons. Now, I did try to replace the Twin Twisters, but they are really expensive Twin Twister at the minute. So I've decided to keep these in, but eventually these probably should and will be replaced with 2 Twin Twisters. So now we're on to the trap cards. So we have 1 Compulsory Evacuation. This essentially you can send one of your opponent's cards on the field back to their hand. We have a Twin Tribute. in case you're in a sticky situation. Again, you can actually self-trigger this. So if you summon a monster onto the field, you can activate this, destroy your monster and all your opponent's monsters if you're in trouble. So then we have 2 Scrap Iron Scarecrows. These are a great delay, these are. Essentially, when your opponent attacks, you activate its card, and then the attack is negated, and it sets itself back down. So unless you've got an MST or something which disables traps, this is permanent. So it's a great way to delay until you pull those key cards in your deck. Of course, we have a Solemn Warning to prevent any special summons. Bottomless Trap Hole, again to destroy some powerful monsters in case they manage to pull off, say, Synchro and XYZ. We have a Mirror Force here. You know, everyone knows what Mirror Force does. And then we have 2 Number Walls. Now these things are really, really useful. So as you say, if I've got Gimmick Puppet of Leo on the field and I'm using his effect, if I use this card on him, it can't be destroyed by battle log like card effects until this thing's destroyed. So unless they've got an MST, then they'll be able to get rid of this, obviously. But until this is gone, no number monsters on the field can be destroyed by monster or card effects. By monsters or by card effects. So it's ridiculous, this card. So very key card for the deck. Okay, so now we shall finish off with the extra deck. So I've got this all the one way around. There we go. So it starts with a level 4. We have a Gear Gigan X, which is essentially to get your weak Gimmick Puppets to hand, such as Scissor Arm and Destroy. Then we have a Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopis. Essentially, if you don't use Dryad Alter the X summon, you can get this out and say sacrifice another one of your Gimmick Puppets which you have in the field in order to destroy some cards on your opponent's side. 2 Giant Grinders. These are really good as if you detach from these, you can target one special summon monster and destroy it. For this card, if it was an XYZ monster, they take damage to the original attack. Now this is the upgraded version, the Giant Hunter. This can target any card in the field, destroy it. If it was a monster, your opponent takes damage equal to the attack, which is really useful. You have 2 strings. Essentially what this one can do, you can attach and put a string card to every card on the field. Sorry, every monster on the field. And then the end of your opponent's next turn, all monsters destroyed and they take 400 damage per 1. So that's pretty useful. If you manage to combat low with a Dark Strings, like these two here, you can essentially use that effect to get the string counters and then exit summon one of these using Make Up Magic and destroy all those monsters instantly. It doesn't give your opponent time to react to that. Now, given for a bit of Leo, this is potential 3-turn kill. You summon this on the field, and if you don't have any spell or traps, you can detach one and add a Destiny counter to it, and if you get 3, you win. And then we have a given for a Disaster Leo. This one's a bit more powerful, of course. And this one essentially, once you've got it on the field, you can rank up Magic Leo, and this card can't be destroyed by card effects, so it can't be targeted by card effects. Yeah. You can attach one card from this to do 1,000 damage to your opponent. Just 1,000 damage to your opponent, just like that. And if your opponent has less than 2,000 life points, and this card has no exhibitory, you instantly win as well. Then we have a number 82 Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. This is actually pretty useful in this deck. I know you can't get the double. It does all damage is halved. If you put a static Stoic Challenge on this, when you've got quite a few on the other field, and then use this as effect to get 200 per rank on the field, you can still rack up with some pretty hefty damage if you attack someone. So that's a really useful card. And then to finish off, we have a Coach Lord or Ultima Trainer. It's like the Big Daddy sort of thing. Now this one essentially you detach and then you get to draw one card, and if it's a monster, your opponent takes 600 damage. So that is pretty cool. And that is it for the new deck. So if you've enjoyed, don't forget to punch the like button, leave a comment down below. Of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also, remember to follow me on Twitter, link down below as always. So last thing to say, I've been X Star Killer X. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video.